Wofford, and this is your Monday Moment. It occurred to me as we talk real quick this week, as I was coaching some of our executive coaching clients through the finer aspects of emotional intelligence, that when you're coaching employees, there is a big difference between coaching for improved performance and simple coaching on emotional intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence is this word that gets, or phrase, that gets thrown around in a lot of different contexts. It's also described by the initials EQ. And we use EQ in sentences. We talk about someone's level of EQ or developing more EQ in the organization. But it's also become a bit of an organizational or corporate buzzword. Because while we know what, sort of, EQ is in concept, I'm not so sure, or at least I'm being told by a number of clients, we don't know how to use it. So how do you provide simple coaching on emotional intelligence? Well, maybe first, we define what the heck it is. Emotional intelligence, if you look at dictionary.com or any number of other defining sources, is simply a skill in perceiving, understanding, and managing one's emotions and functions. So to do that most effectively and to coach those you lead to do it even better, I'd simply recommend that you follow one of 3 guidelines that will make this far easier to implement as a concept. The first, identify pet peeves. Now, when we're training a class on emotional intelligence, often I will divide people into the 4 groups, our commander, organizer, relator, entertainer, as we call them, based on the tool we use, and then let them decide what their pet peeves are in each group. What becomes fascinating, very revealing, and powerful when it comes to what they retain from the training class is that they start to realize that this group over here, their pet peeves is that whole group over there. And this group over here, their pet peeves, that whole group over there. And vice versa. So they start to realize that the things that bug them most are the things other groups do quite naturally, without even thinking, as a normal way of reacting to any number of stress-induced triggers or situations. So identify the pet peeves so people can quit blaming and labeling in a negative manner all those other different behaviors as difficult. Second guideline or guidepost that will help you simply coach them more effectively on emotional intelligence. Once you've helped them identify their pet peeves and start to plant that kernel of belief that, oh, you mean my pet peeves are triggered by those people, and they're not necessarily doing it just to irk my nerves, but because that's how they roll, that's how they operate. Secondly, then, talk candidly about conflict. Conflict typically erupts when there's simply a disagreement. We disagree on the way to accomplish something. We disagree on the process. We disagree on the right decision. We disagree on who or what or how long we should be involved in something or take to accomplish something. Conflict can arise for any additional number of reasons. It could arise because someone didn't say hi in the hallway, or because someone rolled their eyes when you were telling your most heartfelt, vulnerable feelings and expressions. Talk about conflict, because conflict also elevates and is exacerbated when one person handles whatever the issue is in a way that appears to be nearly opposite the way you might handle it. Or when you're coaching an employee who's in the midst of conflict, or even as a proactive preventative measure, you want to help them learn how to handle conflict before it happens, then talk about how those differences can become more pronounced, far more emphasized, and worse in times of conflict. Set some ground rules for how each party handles conflict on the team you have the privilege of leading. Do we address conflict via email? Do we address conflict via text? I wouldn't recommend it. Do we set up face-to-face to handle conflict? Do we do it immediately? Or do we allow 24 hours of time to process out of respect for those who really would prefer to avoid it altogether? Set up your ground rules, have that conversation, and talk much more candidly about conflict. There are worse things that could happen, but when you are simply coaching on emotional intelligence, conflict is a key area in which EQ matters. Third and final guideline or guidepost for adding simple coaching for emotional intelligence into the skill set of both you, the leader, and this team you have the privilege of leading is to address stress management. What irks the nerves of the people you lead? Frankly, what irks your nerves as a leader? Now, this is a cousin to pet peeves, but let me give you an example of a few additional things that might fit into this category. Rushed, overwhelmed, exhausted, emotional, got stuff going on at home that we're not able to manage or not able to compartmentalize or not able to cover or stuff. Maybe it's time on the team you lead with each and every individual to create a safe space where if something's going on, come to me and tell me, meaning you, the leader. You have 30-minute privileges anytime you need them, or 3-minute privileges, or 15-minute privileges, whatever your time allows for, that gives them a safe space with no judgment to come and tell you whatever is going on that is inhibiting their ability to effectively conduct stress management and remain professional, cordial, patient, tolerant, and willing and interested to engage and work well with others. Whatever that is of HR. So how do you simply coach to emotional intelligence? Well, you talk about the areas where it comes up in ways that are most pronounced. And you talk about the topics that many leaders, particularly those new to their role or new to the organization or new to the team, will avoid altogether because they fall in that category of delicate. But if you're going to get better at coaching for improved performance, delivering bad news, communicating with employees, there's no time like the present to practice these more delicate angles of conversation so that you get better and elevate your own confidence, not only in conflict, not only in pet peeves, not only in culture and difficulty and drama, but in being a better leader. I'm Monica Wofford, and that's your Monday Moment. Have a great week, an even better Monday, and of course, stay contagious. And if you have not been to contagiouscompanies.com lately, now's the time. Lots of great training, lots of great assessment tools, webinars, and leadership learning for you in store. In addition, mondaymoment.com if you're not getting these podcasts directly to your email. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.